Today, how are you guys? Hope you're good, hope you're well. Thank you for joining me for yet another episode of OHS Made Easy. My name is Jasper Ndebele. I'm senior partner at Ndebele and Partners, an OHS consulting and training firm based here in Joburg, but we do work pretty much throughout the whole country. So we're excited just to do these episodes with you, just to discuss and ventilate different concepts of health and safety. Today I'm doing another short one again where I'm looking at section 16. I've been covering different sections of the Act. I covered section 1, section 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, and today I am looking at section 16 of the Act, which looks at the duties of the Chief Executive Officer, the business owner. Now, one of the jargon which we use in industry is the term 16.1 and 16.2. These are two people in industry. For those of us who are new in the field of health and safety, you will hear these thrown around. Our 16.1 is Mr. Fisache. Our 16.1 is Mr. Sibego. Our 16.1 is Miss Ntombela. That's the CEO. When we say someone is a 16.1, we're looking at the director, the CEO, the business owner, and it's taken from section 16.1 of the Act. Then you hear another term being thrown around. No, the 16.2 is so and so, or our 16.2 is so and so. That will be the person who is deputizing the CEO or business owner. And these are the two most senior appointments which work together when it comes to issues of health and safety. And they are taken from section 16 of the Health and Safety Act. Now, let's delve right into it and just ventilate it quickly, what it says, and then see what we can learn. Section 16 of the Health and Safety Act simply says, every chief executive officer shall, as far as reasonably practicable, ensure that the duties of his employer, very, very critical, if you have your act, underline that. The chief executive officer must ensure that the duties of his employer, as contemplated in this act, are properly discharged. Now, the duty of the CEO, whom we are terming as 16.1, because he's given his role in section 16.1 of the Act. Now, they are telling us the duty of the CEO is to make sure that the duties of his employer are properly discharged. Now, what are the duties of the employer? This will take you to section 8, which we covered a few episodes ago, where we look at duties of employers. Section 8 speaks of duties of employers. And section 16.1 says the CEO must make sure that the duties of employers, they are properly discharged. So if you are to link these two, 16.1, when we are listing his duties, or the 16.1 of the CEO, when we list his duties, we are saying, let's go back to section 8, and it will tell us. Section 8 will tell us the duty of the employer is to provide a workplace which is safe and without risk. The duty of the employer is to provide safe working systems. The duty of the employer is to mitigate or eliminate hazards before resorting to PPE. The duty of the employer is to maintain equipment. The duty of the employer is to inform, instruct, train, and supervise. The duty of the employer is to ensure that the act as a whole is implemented in his premises. The duties of the employer is to make sure that he does not permit anyone who is incompetent or not able to do a particular role to do it without proper training and all. So all of those are duties of the employer. Now the act is saying that the CEO has the ultimate responsibility to make sure that is done. In fact, it uses the word that the duties of the employer, they are properly discharged. Properly discharged. Now, here is where the cookie crumbles. Now, the CEO, colleagues, cannot be in every area of the workplace or on every construction site, looking at every legal piece, looking at fire extinguishers, checking if people have been trained, checking this, that, and the other. The CEO cannot do that. The CEO is busy. CEO is busy looking for new clients, new investors, reporting to the board, doing strategic planning, strategic meetings, meeting department heads. The CEO is in charge of HR, also in charge of production, also in charge of procurement, also in charge of finance. The CEO is the accounting officer for everything in the business. So we cannot burden him or her with the one aspect of what? Of health and safety. That's where 16.2 then comes in, which is the following element of this section of the Act. Where 16.2 then says, without derogating from his responsibility or liability, meaning to say that without him throwing caution to the wind, and without him saying, I'm abdicating my authority, I'm abdicating my responsibility, I'm abdicating my liability. No, the CEO will still be responsible, the CEO will still be liable. The Act says, while the CEO will still be responsible and liable, the Act says under this subsection, Chief Executive Officer may assign any duty contemplated in subsection 1 to any person under his control. The Act understands, listen, CEO is busy, in charge of all different departments. Busy checking finance, looking for investors, reporting to government, doing this, doing that. Busy playing golf, chowing money. They do play golf, they do chow money. That's CEO. It comes with the territory. But they are busy. They can't be bogged down with all the nitty-gritties of what? Of health and safety. Now, the Act then says a CEO, without derogating from his responsibility or liability, he can delegate it to any person under his responsibility. Now, in general industry, what has been generally accepted is the 16.2 then becomes the next in charge under the CEO. It can be the area manager, it can be the project manager or site manager, it can be the operations manager, it can be the managing director. There's the CEO, then there's an MD. You know, some organizations have got head office and they've got several plants, maybe in different cities, in different provinces, and then the person in charge in each province will then be appointed as the 16.2. And that 16.2's duty is to help the 16.1 discharge the duties of the employer, which are those section 8. And then we have it there, nice and beautiful. Does it make sense? 100%. That's 16.1 and 16.2. Let me go to 16.3. It's not usually discussed, but you know me. I'm your guy. I'll discuss it and explain it for you. 16.3 usually then it says, the provision of subsection 1 shall not, subject to provisions of section 37, relieve an employer of any responsibility or liability under this Act. So an employer will then not throw caution to the wind and say that, no, Tina says right, we are now right. The 16.1 will take all the flake. No, the 16.1 can be held liable, and he reports as well to the board, to the director, to whoever the powers that be, and they can be liable if they don't assist him. For instance, a 16.2 in a particular plant in East London can say that, look, we need budget of 300,000 to train, to do compliance training, first aid, firefighting, shear rep, whatever, and they tell the 16.1. 16.1 also tells the powers that be, guys, we need budget. Now, if they don't make the budget available, we'll not hold the 16.1 liable. We'll come and shut down the firm, that company, that branch, whatever, and will not hold the 16.1 liable. But if the 6.1 is told that we need 300,000 for training, and the 16.1 says, nah, safety is not a priority, then the 16.1 will be liable. And that's very, very important. Section 16.4. For the purposes of subsection 1, the head of department of any department shall be deemed to be the chief executive of that department. There is another spanner in the works. It says the head of department of any department of state shall be deemed as the chief executive. So these are now looking at state entities. Department of Health, Department of Agriculture, Department of Police, Department of Home Affairs, Department of whatever. They don't call them CEOs there, but they are called either a Deputy General or a Director General or whatever the case may be. Those ones, they are the CEOs. So it applies to them. So it's not a matter of designation. You can't say, no, my designation is not CEO. They call me here a Director of Operations or Chief Southern Africa chief of Southern Africa and I'm not CEO, whoever is the top, is the head of department, will take this title and the act will be applicable to them. Doesn't matter. Department of State, municipalities, state-owned enterprises, this is applicable. That's Section 16 of the Health and Safety Act. Talk to me on the comments. Let's engage. Please like, please subscribe, please share this channel, and let's grow it and add value as I add value. Feel free to say something on the comments. Encourage me a little bit just to say that, Jasper, thanks, it made sense or something, or it added value. I'll appreciate it. Thanks a lot.